so it's really looking at, you could get overwhelmed by it really, really easily. And for me, I'm always the other side of it, going, oh yeah, okay, but I'm with my mates here, we're playing basketball, we're playing, what we're doing, and it's goodness, or hanging out with whānau and talking about art or books or films or anything like this. And so there's always goodness in and around you. And it's whether you want to accept it, whether you want to enhance it, whether you want to go in that way. Because, yeah, it's a tough world. It's a real tough world. And especially for a lot of us, people of colour. But I suppose the other side of it is sovereignty, and that's something I truly believe in, and didn't realise that it was very much an integral part of me from day one. My own sovereignty, my family's sovereignty, our hapu's sovereignty, our iwi's sovereignty. As Māori, He uri ngā Ngāti Parau, Ngāti Raukawa, Rongo Whakaata, Ngāti Kahununu rawa ko Kaitahu ko iwi. Ko hone Kouka hau. I was named after my dad. So, but I was actually christened John, and it wasn't until my dad passed away that my whānau said, well, you can start using hone now. That was his name. He wasn't the happiest with me getting that name, but he was away shearing. So my mum said, you had no choice, you weren't here. So that's why I named you. And that's why she gave me my middle name, which is the name of the nurse who delivered me. So, yeah, my name is Hone Vivian, is my full name. I'm the pūtiki o ia whānau of all my brothers and sisters, and whāngai as well. And yeah, as I said, I had it easy compared to everyone else, and I still have one of my sisters that she reminds me that she carried me everywhere. That was my thing. I just kind of wouldn't move a lot of the time, and they would do that. There were 8 of us, 9. Whoa. And yeah, so, and as I said, whāngai as well, with my mum and dad, and just so many cousins always around with us and staying with us, and incredibly close with the first cousins. So I kind of was just so lucky, constantly having people around me, and in our whānau, my oldest brother and myself are the only 2 artists out of all of us. So that's really, I'm not really sure what that means, but it's just something that we kind of keep in mind. And that's where we get a real closeness between the 2 of us. He can sing and play guitar and any other instrument, and is incredible. And I'm a writer. My music is in words. And looking at it from that point. So our whānau, basically you could say so many of them on the Waitua side, on my mum's side, have been hit with the music stick. And it's musical everywhere. So for me, it kind of moves down to my daughter Marire, who is a musician under the moniker of Ma, following that tradition, and my first cousins, Waituas and Watautahi as well, are incredibly musical. So I kind of stick out as being the only one who's not, who's not a musician or musical. I can sing a song and I've got keep a tune, but other than that, I'm really not musical at all. Yes, my grandfather was Hinare Waitua, really esteemed composer of Ngāti Parau. One of the most well-known compositions he made was a composition called Tomo Mai. That's Apirana Ngata came to our farm, Tawata, and he asked him to compose a waiata for the returning Māori battalion. And they wrote it and learnt it basically on the bus from Tikitiki all the way to Wellington. So it was very fresh, but Yeah, it just came out in that form, and it's just been very much part of our whakapapa with all his compositions as well. So, yeah. When I was growing up, I actually would sit underneath the table all of the time and kind of sit at a distance from people and just listen. I was constantly in the kitchen with all my aunties and other whānau in there. So I suppose part of it for me as a listener was always kind of listening and understanding those sorts of things. And being the youngest, never being put out right out front. So I really liked it. I think I got my creativity from playing sport. That's I was always the littlest and the youngest, so I had to figure out ways creatively how to compete with my older sibling. So there's a 17-year gap between myself and my oldest brother. And he's the one I would play sports with the most when I was growing up. So I think that's actually where it came from. And the other creativity is that I was always, if I wanted something, I'd figure out how to get the putia to get it. So I was always really ingenious in regards to those sorts of things, and, you know, making cordial and having a stall, selling it, stuff for the mill boys who were coming, you know, close to our house type thing. And so I suppose that's where the creativity came, not really art. There wasn't a lot of art other than, grandfather's weata was everywhere, but we didn't really consider it as art. It was just part of who we were. So, yeah, no visual arts, nothing like that. My mother had an absolute love of black and white movies. And so I would sit with her and just love these movies and these actors, in particular Montgomery Clift and others like that as well. So I suppose it was always there, but not really obvious that that's the way I'd follow and what I would follow, yeah. There's definitely that, and you know, one of the strangest things I find with lots of my other Pacifica and Māori mates is that I just love cricket. And that's from my eldest brother, and I really understand it helped me as a creative. It helped me as a problem solver as well. So an example, I think I was 10 or 11, and I bowled at him for a week and a half and couldn't get him out. And then I got him out, and he got me out about 4 balls later, and I cried. So, you know, but tenacity is the thing that I really got from him, and he just showed me things that you go, okay, this person will be bigger than you, but you can outsmart them, you can outthink them. And yeah, so yeah, I've spent a lot of time with him in regards to that, and it's probably why I watch it a lot, because it's purely strategy in regards to that, you know. And as my uncle Rutini Waitua said, you know, boy, whatever you've got in life, just play what's in front of you. And so that's kind of one of the adages of me in regards to whoever I have in front of me, that's who we have. And they are amazing, and it's up to you to release their amazingness. So, you know, sport's a good way to do that. With strategy has always been part of my life, and I think part of it is, again, growing up in the south, and we're sawmillers and forestry workers, and a lot of my friends are actually quite wealthy when I really thought about it. And so not having the resource was always been a thing for me, and not a chip on my shoulder. It was just more that, okay, how do I get that? And I don't have all of this resource to fall back on type thing. So I realised really quickly that I became quite a risk taker, that it became really normal for me going, well, if you've got nothing to lose, then you've got nothing to lose. You know, you've always got something to gain. So even to that capacity, it really leads me now. Yeah. Oh, I think from the position that I'm in, a lot of the time, one of the biggest obstacles is obviously resource, visibility, and voice. You know, all those things for me are interconnected. And once you've got one, you can actually start feeding the other, which will feed the other, and it'll just start evolving in that way. And, you know, it's a constant struggle that you can be so visible yet unheard. And that is, you know, one of the things I've noticed, that there's such visibility with social media, but actually there's not really a lot of a voice coming out there, you know, and going, okay, this is something I didn't expect. So yeah, that's one of the key things for me. That's the way I think about it, and going, okay, I've got to get you as much resources as possible, and here, you have it. Go and be amazing, because you are. You know, and that's kind of the other side of it too, that there's just such amazingness, which isn't even a word, but, you know, but it's just being able to release it and, you know, to practice is actually one of the key things. And I've had a great career that I've practiced a lot for a long time. And so that's all I want for any artist. I don't care if you're just starting out, if you've been here for ages. You get to practice, you get really, really good at it. You then start going astral traveling, and then you start kind of creating stuff you've never seen before, you've never thought before. And you start also creating work of the highest quality. So yeah, they're all super interconnected for me, because once you've got that, you've got voice. Once you've got voice, you've got visibility. Once you've got visibility, everyone wants to be your friend. So, you know, that's what I found.